Get On Up.
Yeah, so we saw another movie called Get On Up, which is basically about the life of James Brown.
I want to get into it.
Now James Brown is the king of soul and has influenced so many people, so many artists and musicians over the years, really famous people that came after him, like Michael Jackson, from pop to rock to souls and all different kinds of genres. And he has been a huge influence in not only his music, but also in his dance styles. In fact, when you look at the way he dances, you can really see how Michael Jackson was probably greatly influenced by him. But did you know very much about James Brown before you saw the movie?
I didn't know, not much, but now I know a lot. Yeah.
And we were doing some research today, and we were looking at some of the original footage of some of James Brown's performances.
And this actor did an amazing job. It was phenomenal, like hands down amazing. I mean, he just got every little detail.
Right, so Chadwick Boseman played James Brown, and he did do an absolutely amazing job. I mean, he was just dead on. Like, not only did he sound like him with his voice, but he completely looked like him, and the makeup artist did an amazing job of aging him appropriately so that he really was very convincing. In fact, a lot of times during the movie, I would forget that I wasn't looking at the real character.
Oh, for sure.
So that part was very good. And then when you saw the real footage today, you weren't shocked at all because it looked exactly like him, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So going into this movie, I didn't know very much about James Brown's life. He had a very difficult childhood growing up, and his life was very challenging, and he sort of kind of broke through against a lot of odds of being able to overcome a lot of hardship that he had gone through as a child. But I think that that's part of what made him who he was. I really enjoyed the movie, but Livvey and I both felt like it was a little long and a little bit laborious.
It was.
Well, you guys said that it was, 2 hours and 18 minutes, which isn't a particularly long movie for a biopic, but it felt long.
Some of the performances were really long. And although they were really great,
I don't think we always saw the whole performance start to end, you know what I mean?
at least it felt that way. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and review, but but yeah, they tend to, if he was playing a song on stage, they would play the entire song.
Well, that was James Brown's life, was his performance as a music lover and as a James Brown fan. I would want to see him getting down and singing it through. And his stage antics are so famous, not only how he portrayed himself to the audience, but how he would be super hyper aware of the band and every note that they were playing. If someone missed a beat or just dropped out, he would give these little cat calls and call them out on it, unbeknownst to the audience. You know, he had sort of a coded.
Oh, so he would actually do that during a live performance?
He would do that during a live performance in a way that the crowd wouldn't even be aware of it, but he actually fined his performers for missing hits or you know, slowing down the rhythm or whatever it was. He was a drill master, a martinet, if you will.
Yes, they definitely touched on that in the movie. That he would give his crew a hard time, and he was always finding them for being late or not performing well, being on it and being sharp. And a lot of people say that Michael Jackson was that way too, not in terms of finding his crew, or his group, but just being a perfectionist and just having to really want everything to be perfect in his performance and striving for that perfection.
You can't be Michael Jackson and one of these top-notch performers without expecting that. And sure, it's probably hard on the people around you, but I would prefer the lucky people that get to work with geniuses like that. Maybe they need to get beat up a little bit to rise to the necessary level so that this great music exists.
Right, absolutely. And Olivia was asking that question today. She said, well, why would these people put up with it? Why would they work with him? And what answer did I give you?
Just being in the presence of someone so talented as them.
And having the opportunity to learn from them.
Yeah.
Right? And part of the reason why some people put up with such tremendous egos. And I would imagine it would be pretty tough to be in a position like that and not let your ego get away with you. But I would give the movie maybe a 8.5 or close enough. We said we weren't going to do half, so I guess I'm going to have to give it a 9. So I would say it was very good, except for me, it dragged a little bit in the parts where I felt like it didn't give me quite enough detail.
Yeah, I felt like they didn't give us a clear understanding of everything.
In his personal life.
Yeah, and it was just a little long.
Right. All right, so I give it a 9. What do you think?
I give it, I really like 8.5 here.
Okay, you can have 8 now.